Hi friends, welcome back. Today I will be sharing with you a very easy and super awesome technique that would allow you to create abstract art. However, adult supervision is required for this one because we will be working with glass, okay? And we're going to be working with acrylic, heavy body acrylic. It doesn't matter which brand, it doesn't matter if it's a student grade or professional. Whichever acrylic you can find or have at home, that would do, as long as it's heavy body. We're going to need a brush and or sponge applicator. I'm going to be adding some retarder. Basically, this is just a media that you add to the paint to slow down the drying time. I do recommend using this when you work with acrylics, but anyways, it's optional. I'm going to be working with a couple of canvas sheets and some paper. You can skip the canvas sheets if you don't have them, just use paper. You can practice with any kind of paper, printer paper, just to get a hang of it, and then later on you can experiment with other kinds of paper. Palette knife, optional. And then we're going to need 2 pieces of glass. You can use the glass from a frame, however, the heavier the better. Do not use very thin glass because that can be dangerous. You will see why. I'm gonna need a little sprayer with water. I'm using some artist tape, optional. I have a big container with water just to keep my tools in there to make it easier to clean, and some paper towel. And the first thing that I did was I took my artist tape and I masked the borders of the canvas pads. You can skip this option, whichever way you prefer to do this. I didn't do the masking for the papers, I only did it for the canvas sheets. And then I mixed a base color. I just mixed a little bit of, it's like a warm beige. Whichever color you want will do. Even if you want to skip that, you can do that. You can just start printing without having a background color. I just did it to give you an option, okay? And you can experiment and mix colors and do a fun background. Whichever way you find more fun, that's the way to go, basically. But yeah, you can skip this part. Now comes the fun stuff. We're gonna take some paint and we're gonna lay it on the first glass, and whichever colors you want. I'm just randomly doing this here. We're gonna spread it around with your sponge applicator, your brush, your fingers, it doesn't matter. And then we're gonna take the second glass and we're gonna place it over the paint. And we want to apply as much pressure as possible at this point. Do not use a hammer. But yeah, we want to press as hard as we can. And now comes the tricky part. It's going to be a little bit difficult to separate the glass. And this is why I don't recommend whatsoever using thin glass. The heavier, the better. Okay? But if you do it slowly, it can be done. You're going to end up with 2 plates of glass, and on each one of them you're going to have this interesting pattern, and that is what you're going to transfer onto paper and or canvas sheet. You're going to place your paper or your canvas sheet facing the paint, and ever so slightly you're going to start patting on top of it. Just enough pressure to get that pattern transferred, but if you press too hard, you're gonna end up with a smooshed mess, okay? And voila! This is the image that you're gonna get transferred onto the paper. This monoprinting method, it's called Dendritic Monoprinting. Dendritic means tree-like, I believe, because those little patterns, they look like tree branches. Although in this particular one at the end, they looked more like coral reefs to me. I don't know, but yeah, Dendritic Monoprinting. I will be repeating the same process a few times. You can get a decent 2 transfers per each glass plate. So I am doing the canvas sheets first and then the paper last. But yeah, you can play with it and see. Maybe you can get more. Usually I get 2 per each glass plate. And then to clean it up, just spritz water and wipe it off. And then you're ready to add your second layer. Now, very important, you always want to allow your previous layer to completely dry before you go ahead with the next one. You can use a hair dryer to speed things up, you know. So, but there's that. Just allow that previous layer to dry. And this is a lot of fun. I'm telling you, once you get a hang of this, you can be doing this for hours. It's so much fun, and each time you never know what you're gonna get. It's so fascinating. The possibilities are endless. Monoprinting in general is a lot of fun. There are many different ways. Basically what it is, it's a way of creating prints, usually one at a time, where although they share some similarities, or they may share some similarities, each and every single one of them will be different than the other one. There are many techniques. There's lithography, there's etching, etc. It is a lot of fun. This one is very simple. This is why I wanted to share, because anyone can do this one. It's very, very easy. And for today's demonstration, I decided to create a little, like some abstract art by using only this technique. But in my next few videos, I am going to be giving you some more alternatives. You can actually use this technique partially. You can paint something, and then you can do dendritic patterns in different parts of the painting. You don't have to do it all over. And also there are other alternatives to glass that I will be sharing with you as well. Now, glass is the preferred one. Personally, I find it's the one that works the best. But yeah, there are alternatives to glass. So stay tuned for that, because I'm going to be sharing that in my next few videos. I don't know, I think I'm going through an abstract phase. I really want to play with acrylics, and I don't have a lot of time to record. So making abstract art is, I think, is the best way to go for now. At least for the next few days or weeks. We'll see. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, and you see, this one got stuck. I had to use a palette knife to get it separated. That is the only thing that's a little bit hard with this technique, but again, you'll get a hang of it. Trust me, it's not too bad. Just don't use thin glass. I can't stress that enough. Don't use thin glass. You can plan your colors in advance. I didn't do that for this one. The only thing that I wanted to do, or the only thing that I had in mind, was my dominant color, and I wanted my dominant color, which means basically the color that you're gonna see the most. That's the one I'm mixing now. I wanted it to be a yellow, so I added some white to add up some opacity, and then I added some interference gold as well, just to have that effect as well. A little bit of gold, a little bit of white. And that's when I made the final. That's the final layer. That's the end result. So you see, when I took the artist tape off, you see how cool that looks. You get that clean edge, and then you see all the layers. And both prints are similar, are very similar, but not identical. And that is the essence of monoprinting. I think they came out really cool, and there's always the option to go over it and paint. For example, these are the paper ones. I think I'm gonna be painting with ink on those. Maybe I'll Retarder. But if I do that, I'll share either here or on Instagram. I will be sharing that. But yeah, it's a lot of fun, and again, you can keep adding up layers on top of that with a brush. Just paint with a brush. So let me know what you thought. I hope you found it interesting, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!